Jim, Master's Apprentices enjoyed quite a fantastic reputation in Australia. This is before you went to England, and it wasn't always for your music. Do you think some of the scandals and rumours that were attached to the group were always justified?
People sort of started writing about unmusical things about us, about what we looked like, what we dressed like, instead of what we played like. But then we went to England, of course, and things changed, and we came back and we sort of more into our music now rather than what we look like and what we do in our private lives.
What has been the reaction since you've come back from England?
Oh, very, very good.
What happened over in England?
A million things. We went through a lot of changes mentally, physically, and musically. Mainly mentally, went through a lot of mental changes that you can't help but go through when you get to England because it's that type of place, But we just sort of lived in this house and just ate and slept music all day, every day. Went and saw the top bands in the world, listened to the top music on albums, and just practiced all day and rehearsed, and that's all we did for 6 months,
How do you think you changed while you were over there?
Well, our outlook on a lot of things changed. Musically, we changed. We learnt a lot about ourselves, about what we can do and what we can't do, and what our new approach to our music should be. And we saw a lot of good things. There were a lot of good things happening over there.
Were you apprehensive when you got there? Did you think, wow, how are we going to compare to all the English groups?
Oh, yeah, naturally. We were very worried, very concerned. The idea was to get in and record and do as much of that as we can, perhaps with the idea of having a hit single. And that was the main idea of going over there.
Did you work there at all?
Yeah, we did a couple of places. We had the opportunity to work more, but the money is not very good for an unknown group.
So what should an unknown group do, if they haven't enough bread to support themselves?
If they haven't enough bread?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know. It's very difficult. You have to go over there with enough money to keep you going for at least 6 months to do anything, because it takes that long to get your name off the ground.
You've had excellent reviews for your latest LP and Melody Maker. Is this what's going to persuade you to go back to England?
I think so. Up until a few weeks ago, we were considering staying here. But now with this and a few other things that's been happening for us over there, I think we'd be mad not to go back, really.
Glenn, how much help does a record company give a group when they're trying to break into the overseas market?
Well, it all depends on the record companies, I think. But EMI helped us a tremendous amount in England. When we arrived there, we were virtually just a new group with nothing there to sort of sell at all, because what we'd achieved in Australia for the last 3 years meant nothing to people over there. The fact that we'd had like 6 records in the top 10 and 2 albums and things like this all meant nothing. They wanted to see what we were doing now. And past reputation means nothing at all, and that's why EMI were a very good help in giving us the opportunity to record. We did the album and the single over there.
Do you think Master's Apprentices, could contribute anything new to the English scene?
I think so. I've got a lot of confidence in the songs that Doug and Jim are writing. And I think the big thing in England is originality. If you haven't got originality, you're just one of a million groups. And I personally think, with the risk of sounding vain, that we might be able to do that with.
Isn't there a move to something, a much softer sound now?
Oh, yes and no. I think a group can come on and be a very soft group, and you can get in the mood for them and really dig them. But straight after them, a heavy rock and roll group will come on, and you can get yourself into that mood as well.
Do you think the records produced in Australia are of poorer quality than, say, your LP in England?
It's hard to say. I think the environment in England is much better. It helps you create a lot easier, and I think working in the studios, they really know how to get the best out of you. Over here, they tend to be timing you and saying, oh, we haven't got that much time, we should be finished by 5 o'clock.
You've always been known as a fairly flamboyant group. Do you think this has been justified?
Off and on, yeah, definitely.
Colin, do you sometimes think you've ceased to exist as an individual, you're just part of a group and your whole life is within the group?
No, I don't think that could ever happen, really, because we're all individuals and that's the way we'll always be. That's the only thing. So, been a big thing for us. It's kept us together for such a long time because we've been individual in everything we've done. Because everyone, if you conform, it's no good. That's everything.
Do you have anything outside of the group, any other interest?
No, not at all, really. Except, I suppose, fast cars and something like that. That's about all. But only mainly music, isn't it? It's my life, yeah. That's about all music.